The main chamber of Station Nexus 7 was enormous. Its walls were made of a material that changed colors slowly, moving from deep blue to soft purple. The ceiling stretched so high that it disappeared into darkness. Hundreds of seats filled the circular room, and in each seat sat a delegate from a different alien species. Some had scales, some had fur, others looked like they were made of living crystal or flowing water. Una stood at the center platform. She was a human woman, dressed in a simple gray suit that looked plain compared to the elaborate robes and armor worn by the alien delegates. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun. Her hands were steady, but her heart was beating fast. She had practiced her speech 1,000 times. This was her chance. This was Earth's chance. She pressed a button on her datapad. Images appeared on the holographic screens around the room. Pictures of Earth, cities filled with lights, farms growing food, ships traveling between planets, children learning in schools. Honored members of the Galactic Council, Una began. Her voice was clear and strong. I come before you today to request that Earth be allowed to join the galactic community. We have much to offer. Our scientists have made great discoveries. Our artists create beautiful works. Our people are ready to work with you, to learn from you, and to share what we know. A sound rippled through the chamber. It took Una a moment to realize what it was. Laughter. The aliens were laughing at her. Chairman Taiho sat in the highest seat in the chamber. He was a Veldari, a species that looked almost like humans but taller and thinner. His skin had a slight green tint. His eyes were large and completely black. He wore robes covered in symbols that marked his high rank. Taiho raised one long-fingered hand. The laughter died down. Ambassador Una, he said. His voice was smooth and cold. We have heard this request from Earth many times before. The answer remains the same, no. But we have met every requirement, Una said. She tried to keep her voice calm. We have peaceful relations with our neighbors. We have developed faster than light travel. We have established colonies on 3 other worlds. We have shown that we can be responsible members of... You are weak, Taiho interrupted. Your bodies are fragile. You live such short lives. Your planet has normal gravity, normal temperature, normal everything. You have not evolved to handle real challenges. More laughter filled the room. A delegate with 4 arms and blue skin spoke up. I visited Earth once. Their gravity almost crushed me. How they live in such conditions I will never understand. And yet they call it normal. Another delegate, this one covered in feathers, added, they cannot even breathe most atmospheres. They need special suits just to visit other worlds. What use are such limited beings? Hana sat in the visitors section watching everything. She was Yuna's diplomatic attaché, which meant she helped Una with her work. Hana was younger than Una, with short black hair and sharp eyes. She had hoped today would be different. She had believed the council would finally listen. Now she felt anger building in her chest. These aliens did not understand humans at all. They thought humans were weak. They thought Earth was boring. They had no idea what humans were really like. Una tried again. Our strength comes from our determination, from our ability to adapt, your determination. Taiho's voice was mocking now. Tell me, Ambassador, how determined can a species be when they break so easily? Your bones snap under pressure. Your skin tears like paper. You get sick from the smallest things. He stood up, looking down at Una from his high seat. The galaxy is dangerous. There are wars. There are pirates. There are diseases that can wipe out entire worlds. We cannot allow a weak species to join us. You would be destroyed within a year. The ban on human integration will remain in place. For how long? Una asked. Her voice was quiet now. Another 100 years, Taiho said. Perhaps by then you will have evolved into something more suitable. Now all those in favor of extending the ban, every hand, claw, tentacle, and appendage went up. The vote was unanimous. Una stood there for a long moment. The holographic images of Earth still floated around her. Beautiful pictures of her homeworld, a world these aliens thought was too normal, too safe, too boring. Finally, she bowed her head. I understand. Thank you for your time. She turned and walked toward the exit. Hana met her at the door. The 2 women left the chamber together, saying nothing. Behind them, the aliens were already moving on to other business. The human request was forgotten. It was not important to them. In the hallway outside, Una finally stopped walking. She leaned against the wall and closed her eyes. They will never let us in, Hana said. They have made up their minds. They think we are weak. I know, Una said. They do not know us at all. They do not know what humans can do, what we have survived, what we are capable of. Una opened her eyes and looked at Hana. No, she agreed. They do not know. And maybe that is for the best. What do you mean? The Council has spent 100 years keeping humans away from the galaxy. They say it is to protect us. But I wonder, Una paused, I wonder if they are protecting themselves. Hana thought about this. You think they are afraid of us? I think they do not understand what it means to come from Earth. They think our world is safe and easy. They do not know about our history, our wars, our struggles. They see our bodies as weak, but they do not see our minds, our will, our ability to survive anything. Back in the council chamber, Taiho sat in his high seat feeling satisfied. Another human request denied. The galaxy was safe for another 100 years. Humans would stay on their little world, protected from the dangers they could not handle. He had no idea how wrong he was. He had no idea what was coming. And when the truth finally came out, the entire galaxy would never be the same again. Jinho worked in a small office deep inside Station Nexus 7. The room had no windows. The walls were gray. There were 3 computer screens on his desk and nothing else. He liked it that way. No distractions. Jinho was an intelligence officer. His job was to watch and listen, to collect information, to find patterns that others might miss. He worked for the council, but he was human, one of only a few humans allowed to work on the station. Right now, he was looking at a report that made him uncomfortable. The report was marked as classified. Top secret. It described a recent attack by Krell pirates on a human cargo ship. The Krell were known across the galaxy as dangerous raiders. They were big, strong, and violent. They had thick armor-like skin and multiple arms. They attacked ships, took what they wanted, and killed anyone who tried to stop them. The human cargo ship had been carrying medical supplies to a colony. When the Krell attacked, the ship sent out a distress signal. By the time help arrived, the fight was over, but the report said something strange. The cargo ship was fine, the medical supplies were safe, and there were 15 dead Krell floating in space around the ship. 15 Krell, dead, killed by the 3 human security officers on the cargo ship. Jinho read the report again. Then he accessed the attached files. There was video footage from the cargo ship's security cameras. His hand moved to the play button. He hesitated. Something told him that once he watched this video, everything would change. He pressed play. The video showed the cargo bay of the ship. Boxes of medical supplies were stacked along the walls. 3 humans stood near the center. They wore simple uniforms. They did not look special. They did not look dangerous. Then the Krell came through the door. 15 of them. Each one was twice the size of a human. They carried weapons. They were shouting in their harsh language. What happened next took less than 2 minutes. The humans moved. They did not run away. They did not hide. They moved toward the Krell. Fast. So fast that Jinho had to watch it twice to understand what he was seeing. The first human grabbed a metal pipe from a supply crate. He swung it at the nearest Krell's leg. The Krell fell. Before it could get up, the human brought the pipe down on its head. The Krell stopped moving. The second human had found a weapon that one of the Krell dropped. She used it to shoot 3 Krell in quick succession. Her aim was perfect. Each shot hit exactly where it needed to. The third human had no weapon at all. He used his hands. He used his feet. He used his entire body as a weapon. Jinho watched as this human dodged a Krell's attack, then struck back with precise blows to vulnerable points. The Krell fell like they were made of paper. The humans worked together perfectly. When one was in trouble, another helped. They moved around each other without getting in each other's way. They did not panic. They did not hesitate. They fought like machines, cold, efficient, deadly. In less than 2 minutes, all 15 Krell were down. The humans stood in the cargo bay, breathing hard but otherwise unharmed. They checked each Krell to make sure they were no longer a threat. Then they began cleaning up, moving the bodies aside, securing the cargo bay. The video ended. Jinho sat back in his chair. His heart was beating fast. He had never seen anything like that before. The Krell were supposed to be unstoppable. They were bigger, stronger, better armed. But the humans had destroyed them, and these were not soldiers. These were just security officers. Regular humans doing a regular job. What would happen if these were actual human warriors? Trained fighters, an army? Jinho understood now why this report was classified. The council did not want anyone to see this. They did not want anyone to know what humans could do. He heard a knock on his door. He quickly closed the video file. "Come in," he said. Nari entered the office. She was another human who worked on the station. She was a data analyst. She and Jinho had worked together for 3 years. They were friends. "You look worried," Nari said. She sat down in the chair across from his desk. Jinho looked at her for a long moment. He should not share classified information. It was against the rules. He could lose his job. Maybe worse, but Nari was human. She deserved to know the truth. "I need to show you something," he said. He turned his screen so she could see it. He opened the video file again. Nari watched in silence. When it was over, her face was pale. "That is impossible," she whispered. "I have watched it 5 times. It is real. 3 humans against 15 Krell, and they won. They did more than win. They made it look easy." Nari stood up and walked to the door. She locked it. Then she came back and sat down. "The council knows about this," she said. It was not a question. "Yes, that is why it is classified. They are hiding it. They do not want anyone to know what humans can do." "That is what I think, too." Nari leaned forward. "This morning, I watched Ambassador Yuna get laughed out of the council chamber. They called humans weak. They called us fragile. They extended the ban for another 100 years. I know. But this video shows the truth. We are not weak. We are not fragile. We are—" She stopped. "What are we, Jinho?" Jinho looked at the frozen image on his screen. The 3 humans standing among the fallen Krell. "I think," he said slowly, "we are predators. And the council knows it. That is why they keep us away. Not to protect us. To protect everyone else," Nari nodded. "What do we do with this information?" Jinho thought about Ambassador Yuna, about Hana, about all the humans who had been rejected and mocked. They deserved to know the truth. Everyone deserved to know the truth. "We find a way to show them," he said. "All of them. We show them what humans really are." Yuna was in her quarters when she received the message. It came through a secure channel, marked as urgent. The message was from Jinho. She knew him. He worked in intelligence. He was reliable and careful. If he said something was urgent, it was. She read the message 3 times. Then she called Hana. They met in a private conference room. Jinho and Nari were already there, waiting. The room was small and windowless. It was designed to be secure. No one could listen in. "Show me," Yuna said. Jinho connected his datapad to the room's display screen. The video began to play. Yuna and Hana watched in silence. When it ended, neither of them spoke for a long moment. "Where did you get this?" Yuna asked finally. "It is in the classified files. Top secret. The council has been suppressing it." Hana was staring at the frozen image on the screen. "How many incidents like this have there been?" "I have found 7 in the past year alone," Nari said. "Every time humans are attacked, the same thing happens. The attackers lose. Badly. And every time the council classifies the reports and hides them away." Yuna sat down. She felt tired, angry, relieved, 100 different emotions at once. "This morning, Chairman Tejo told me that humans are too weak to join the galactic community," she said quietly. "He said we would be destroyed within a year." He laughed at us. "The whole council laughed," Hana added. "They think we are a joke." "But they know the truth," Jinho said. "They have to know. These reports go to them. They see the evidence. They know what humans can do. So why the ban?" Hana asked. "If they know we can handle ourselves, why keep us out?" "Because they are afraid," Yuna said. She stood up and walked to the display screen. She touched the image of the 3 humans. "They are afraid of what will happen when the galaxy finds out the truth. They are afraid of us." The 4 humans looked at each other. A decision was being made, though no one had spoken it yet. "We need to show this to the council," Nari said. "They will never allow it," Hana said. "Tejo will block any request. He controls the council sessions." "Then we force his hand," Yuna said. She turned to look at them. "There are rules, ancient rules about emergency council sessions. If a member has evidence of an existential threat to the galactic community, they can demand an immediate hearing. The chairman cannot refuse. But humans are not members," Jinho pointed out. "No, but I am an official ambassador. I have limited standing. If I claim there is a threat and provide evidence, they have to hear me." "What threat?" Nari asked. Yuna smiled. It was not a kind smile. The threat of what happens when the galaxy discovers that their leaders have been lying to them. When they find out that the Council has been hiding the truth about humans. When they realize they have been mocking the one species that could actually protect them from the real dangers out there. There was a knock on the door. Everyone froze. Ambassador Yuna? A voice called from outside. It is Minho. I need to speak with you. Minho was a junior diplomat from the Sivari delegation. He had always been kind to Yuna, polite when others were rude. He was young for a diplomat, barely out of training. Yuna opened the door. Minho stood outside looking nervous. He was a Sivari, which meant he had blue skin and large eyes. He was short, even for his species. I am sorry to disturb you, he said, but I heard something, a rumor. I thought you should know. What kind of rumor? Minho glanced down the hallway, then stepped inside. Yuna closed the door behind him. There is talk among some of the junior delegates, Minho said quietly, about humans. About incidents that the Council has hidden. Classified reports, videos. The four humans exchanged glances. What kind of videos? Yuna asked carefully. I do not know the details, but people are saying that humans are not what we have been told, that you are dangerous, that the Council has been lying about the real reason for the ban. Minho looked at Yuna directly. Is it true? Are humans dangerous? Yuna considered her answer carefully. Minho had always been honest with her. He deserved honesty in return. We can be, she said finally, when we need to be. When someone threatens us or the people we care about. But that does not make us monsters. It makes us survivors. Minho nodded slowly. I believe you. But there are many who will not. If these rumors spread, if this information becomes public, there could be panic. Or there could be understanding, Hana said. Maybe the galaxy needs to know the truth. The truth will come out anyway, Jinho added. Better that it comes out in a controlled way than as wild rumors. Minho looked at each of them in turn. You are planning something. I am going to demand an emergency council session, Yuna said. I am going to show them the evidence they have been hiding. And I am going to force them to face the truth. Chairman Tejo will fight you every step of the way. I know, but the rules are on my side. He cannot refuse an emergency session if I have legitimate evidence of a threat. Minho took a deep breath. Then you will need support. Junior delegates like me, we do not have much power, but we can help. We can make sure the session happens. We can make sure people are watching. Yuna reached out and put her hand on Minho's shoulder. Thank you. But you should know this could be dangerous for you. Tejo does not like people who go against him. I know, Minho said. But I did not become a diplomat to hide behind powerful people. I became a diplomat to help build a better galaxy. And that starts with telling the truth. The five of them stood together in the small room, human and alien working together. In a few hours, they would walk into the council chamber and change everything. The galaxy thought it knew what humans were. Soon everyone would know the truth. And nothing would ever be the same. The council chamber was even more crowded than usual. Word had spread about the emergency session. Delegates filled every seat. Some stood along the walls. Others watched from viewing screens in their quarters. Everyone wanted to see what would happen. Chairman Tejo sat in his high seat looking angry. He had tried to block the session. He had argued that there was no real threat, that this was just another human complaint. But Yuna had followed the rules perfectly. She had submitted her evidence request through the proper channels. She had invoked the ancient protocols. He could not refuse, but he could make his displeasure known. This session is highly irregular, Tejo announced. His voice echoed through the chamber. Ambassador Yuna has claimed to have evidence of a threat to the galactic community. A serious claim. I hope, for her sake, that this evidence is real and not just another attempt to overturn the Council's decision about the human ban. Yuna stood at the center platform. She looked calm, but her hands were shaking slightly. She held a datapad. On it was the video that would change everything. Thank you, Chairman, she said. I understand the rules. I understand the consequences of making a false claim. What I am about to show you is real. It is classified information that the Council has been keeping secret. And it is something that every delegate in this chamber deserves to see. Tejo leaned forward. What kind of information? Evidence about humans, about what we really are, about the real reason for the ban. The chamber erupted in noise. Delegates were shouting. Some were laughing. Others were demanding to know what she was talking about. Teho raised his hand for silence. Ambassador Yuna, this is not the time for— I have the right to present my evidence, Yuna interrupted. Her voice was strong now. That is what the emergency protocol allows. You cannot stop me, Chairman, not unless you want to break the ancient laws that govern this council. Teho's face showed his anger, but he nodded. Very well. Show us this evidence. Yuna connected her datapad to the central display system. The video began to play on every screen in the chamber. The cargo bay. The 3 humans. The 15 Krell pirates. The room fell silent. Everyone watched as the humans moved, fast, precise, deadly. They watched as the Krell fell, one after another. They watched as 3 small humans destroyed 15 of the galaxy's most feared pirates in less than 2 minutes. When the video ended, no one spoke. No one laughed. No one moved. Yuna let the silence stretch. She wanted them to think about what they had just seen. She wanted it to sink in. Finally, she spoke. This incident happened 3 weeks ago. It was classified immediately. Like 7 other similar incidents in the past year, the Council has been hiding the truth about humans. They have been telling you that we are weak, that we need protection. But the real reason for the ban has nothing to do with protecting us. She turned to look at Taiho. The ban exists to protect the galaxy from us. Is that not right, Chairman? Taiho said nothing. His face was pale. A delegate from the back of the chamber stood up. It was Unji, a scientific advisor from the Korthan delegation. She was tall and thin with silver skin that seemed to glow in the chamber's light. I would like to speak, Unji said. Taiho looked like he wanted to refuse, but he could not. The emergency protocol allowed for expert testimony. You may speak, he said quietly. Unji walked to the center platform. She had a datapad of her own. I have been studying human biology for 10 years. At first I thought they were a simple species, average in almost every way. But the more I learned, the more I realized how wrong I was. She pulled up images on the display screens. Charts, graphs, biological data. Humans evolved on what they call a death world, Unji explained. Earth has higher gravity than most inhabited planets. It has dangerous weather, deadly predators, diseases that would kill most species in hours. And yet humans not only survived, they became the dominant species. She touched her datapad. A new image appeared. It showed a human body with highlighted areas. Humans are persistence hunters. They can run for hours without stopping. They can track prey across vast distances. They do not give up. Most predators in the galaxy are ambush hunters. They strike fast and hard. But humans chase their prey until it collapses from exhaustion. Another image. This one showed human muscles and bones. Their bones are dense. Their muscles are efficient. They can survive injuries that would kill most of us. And they have something called an adrenaline response. When threatened, their bodies flood with chemicals that make them faster, stronger, and more aggressive. They become essentially berserkers, fighting machines. The chamber was completely silent now. Every delegate was listening. Every eye was on Unji. But the most dangerous thing about humans is not their bodies, Unji continued. It is their minds. Humans have incredible pattern recognition. They can learn almost anything. They adapt to new situations faster than any species I have ever studied. And they have something else. Something we do not fully understand, she paused. Humans never forget. If you harm a human, they will remember. If you harm someone they care about, they will remember forever. And they will find a way to make you pay for it. They call it justice or revenge. But whatever they call it, the result is the same. Humans do not forgive their enemies. Another delegate stood up. It was Do Hyun, a cultural researcher. He was small, with green scales and large eyes. I would like to add something, Do Hyun said. I have studied human culture and history, and I can tell you that everything Unji said is true. Humans have been at war with each other for most of their existence. They have destroyed entire cities. They have created weapons that can end worlds. But they have also created art and music and literature. They can be the most gentle species in the galaxy or the most brutal. It depends on how you treat them. He looked around the chamber. The council has been keeping humans away because they are afraid. Afraid of what will happen when humans join the galactic community as equals. Afraid that humans will not forget how they have been treated. And they are right to be afraid. Yuna stepped forward again. The council has lied to you. They told you we were weak. They told you we needed protection. But the truth is they needed to keep us away to protect themselves. They were afraid that if you knew what we really were, everything would change. She looked at Taiho. The chairman was sitting very still, his face showing no emotion. Well, now you know, Yuna said. The question is, what are you going to do about it? The silence in the chamber was absolute. Every delegate was thinking, processing, understanding. The galaxy had been sleeping next to a predator, and now the predator was awake. The emergency vote was called within an hour. There was no debate, no discussion. Every delegate knew what they had seen. Every delegate understood what it meant. The motion was simple. Lift the ban on human integration into the galactic community immediately. The vote was unanimous, but the council added a condition. A requirement that nobody had expected. Chairman Taiho stood to announce it. He looked tired, defeated. He had fought to keep humans away, and now he had to welcome them in. But more than that, he had to ask them for help. The Galactic Council recognizes that we have made a grave error, Taiho said. His voice carried through the chamber, but it lacked its usual confidence. We have kept humanity separate from the galactic community based on fear and misunderstanding. We told ourselves it was for their protection, but we were protecting ourselves, he paused. The galaxy is dangerous. We face threats from pirates, from hostile species, from forces we do not yet understand. We have tried to handle these threats ourselves. We have failed more times than we have succeeded. We need help, and now we know where to find it. Taiho looked directly at Yuna. We ask that humanity take on the role of peacekeepers, defenders, protectors of the galactic community. You have the skills, the strength, the will. We need you. Yuna stood in the center platform. She had won. The ban was lifted. Earth would finally join the galactic community. But at what cost? She looked at Hana, who was sitting in the visitor section. Hana gave a small nod. They had discussed this possibility. They had prepared for it. The human delegation accepts, Yuna said, but we have conditions of our own. The chamber went quiet again. What conditions could humans possibly have? They had just been granted what they wanted. First, Yuna said, humans will serve as peacekeepers, but we will not be your soldiers. We will protect innocent lives. We will stop attacks and raids. But we will not fight your wars. We will not be tools for conquest or revenge. Taiho nodded. Agreed. Second, Yuna continued, all classified information about humans must be released. No more secrets. No more lies. If we are going to be part of this community, it must be built on truth. This caused some murmuring among the delegates, but Taiho raised his hand. Agreed. Third, Yuna said, and now her voice became harder. The Council will issue a formal apology to humanity for the century of exclusion, for the mockery, for the lies. You will admit your mistakes publicly. Taiho's jaw tightened. This was the hardest condition. To admit weakness, to admit fear, to admit failure in front of the entire galaxy, but he nodded. Agreed. Yuna stepped back. Then we have a deal. The chamber erupted in noise. Some delegates were cheering. Others were arguing. But the decision was made. Humanity was officially part of the galactic community. Later that day, Yuna met with the first human peacekeeping team. They had been stationed on Earth waiting for this moment. Now they would be deployed across the galaxy. Captain Rena led the team. She was a tall woman with short hair and scars on her hands. She had fought in Earth's last major conflict. She had seen things that would give most people nightmares, but she stood straight and proud in her uniform. Ambassador, Rena said, saluting. Captain, Yuna replied. You know what this means. You know what they are asking of us? Yes, ma'am. They want us to protect them, to be their shield. Now, can you do it? Can your people do it? Rena smiled. It was not a warm smile. We can do it. But they need to understand something. We will protect them. We will stop the pirates and raiders. We will keep the peace. But we will not forget. We will not forget the 100 years of being locked out. We will not forget the mockery. We will not forget being called weak. I know, Yuna said quietly. We will be fair. We will be just, but we will also make sure that no one ever underestimates humanity again. Yuna nodded. That is all I ask. In the council chamber, the video played one more time. Chairman Taiho had ordered it. He wanted every delegate to watch it again. To remember. To understand what they were dealing with. 3 humans, 15 Krell, 2 minutes. The delegates watched in silence. When it ended, no one spoke. They just sat there, thinking about what it meant to have humans as allies, or what it would mean to have them as enemies. Young liaison, Juan, stood at the back of the chamber. He was Sivari, one of the smallest species in the galaxy. He had always felt safe in the council, surrounded by bigger, stronger beings. Now he watched the humans walking through the station. They did not look dangerous. They were not very big. They did not have claws or thick armor or natural weapons, but he had seen the video. He knew what they could do. And he knew that the galaxy had made a terrible mistake. One of the humans, a woman named Hana, walked past him. She smiled and nodded politely. It was a kind smile, a friendly smile. But Juan saw something else in her eyes. He saw memory. He saw judgment. He saw the knowledge of every insult, every mockery, every lie that had been told about her people. Humans never forget. That is what the scientist had said. And now Juan understood what that meant. The galaxy had kept humanity locked away for 100 years. They had called humans weak. They had laughed at them. They had treated them like children who needed protection. And now those same humans would be the ones protecting the galaxy, defending it, keeping it safe. The irony was not lost on anyone. In her quarters, Yuna sat at her desk and wrote a message to Earth. She told them about the vote, about the conditions, about the new role humanity would play in the galaxy. She ended the message with a warning. A reminder. They know what we are now, she wrote. They have seen our strength. They have learned to fear us. But fear is not the same as respect. We must earn their respect. We must show them that we are more than predators, that we are protectors, that we are worthy of trust. She paused, then added one final line. But never let them forget. Never let them think we are weak again. The galaxy mocked us. They laughed at us. They kept us locked away for 100 years. We will protect them now. We will keep them safe. But we will never forget what they did. And neither should you. She sent the message. The council chamber was empty now. The lights were dim, but on every screen the video still played. 3 humans against 15 Krell, a reminder. A warning. A promise. The galaxy had mocked the ban on humans. They had laughed at the idea that humans were dangerous. But the footage had silenced the room. And nothing would ever be the same again.